Welcome to the Canarian International Meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Mossy and I am an alcoholic.
And my name is Mick and I'm helping Mossy as secretary at this meeting. Please join us for a moment's silence to remember remember the still suffering alcoholic inside and outside this meeting.
And Robin is going to read the preamble for us.
Bingo. Thank you, Mossy. I am Mick. Hello, everyone. I'm Robin. I'm an alcoholic. Good to be sober. Good to be in a meeting. The preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is an honest desire to stop drinking. AA has no dues or fees. It is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation, or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Thanks, Mossy.
Thanks, Robin. And a very warm welcome goes out to any newcomers or anyone returning to Alcoholics Anonymous. And this evening, guys, we have a good friend of mine. I met him quite a few years ago in Lanzarote. And just a lovely man himself and his lady wife. Pravin, you got 45 minutes, whatever you like. And take it away, my friend. Thanks a million for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Mossy, and thank you, Mick, and thank you all for being here so that I can join in. And it's a joy, and thank you, Mossy, for asking me. It's good to see one or two people I know on the screen, and so it's always happy. As I say, my name is Pravin. I'm alcoholic, and my sobriety date is 14th of January 1988. And I share that because I want to share, I like sharing, that Alcoholics Anonymous works. It has worked for me so far since I came in, and today it was working for me. My daughter came to see me with her partner, and we had a lovely afternoon with her, and the sun has been out. God has given us good sun in Croydon today, and so I've got nothing that I don't like at the moment, and so I'm grateful to be here. I came in when I was 2.5 years without alcohol. I don't call it, I don't say I was sober for 2.5 years. I was without alcohol for 2.5 years. And those 2.5 years were probably, in my view, they were the worst 2.5 years of my life. I lost more in those 2.5 years than I had ever lost all throughout my drinking life. I lost everything. And when I came to Alcoholics Anonymous on the 14th of January 88, I was in deep depression. In those 2.5 years, I had been everywhere for help for my depression. When I wanted to stop a little, a few months before that, a couple of years, 3 years before that, I had gone to a psychiatrist, and I used to say to him, I don't like drinking, but I have to drink. And he said, Pravin, all your problems are there because you drink too much. Throw the bottle away, hide it, whatever you want to do, and everything will be all right. And I used to believe him because I used to go to him at great expense in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of effort. I used to go and I wanted him to help me. And he used to say, throw the bottle away and everything will be all right. And I believed him. And then I went to, because I didn't stop, I went to what used to be an NHS detox center. and that was based in the Bethlehem Psychiatric Hospital as a sort of addendum to the hospital in a little shack on the grounds. And there was a man called Dr. John Gayford, and he saw me and admitted me to the detox center. It wasn't a treatment center, and it was a detox center. And he said to me, Pravin, I'm going to give you Heminarin to settle you down because you got too much alcohol in you. And I'm going to give you vitamin B injections because he said every person with alcohol problem is deficient in vitamin B. So I'll give you vitamin B injections, but I will also give you the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I will make sure that you go to an AA meeting every night. And that was 2.5 years before I came to Alcoholics Anonymous. And he used to arrange a coach load of us to go from the detox center to various meetings around Surrey, including Croydon. And so he made sure, and he also used to tell me that you must, he said, I can only give you a certain amount of help and Heminarin and vitamin B injections, but you will need to become a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I didn't understand all that. I used to go to the meetings because I was bused there. I was taken there in a coach with 21 or 22 or 25 other people. And that was the life. And after the first fortnight, I said, I'm all right. I haven't had a drink for a fortnight and I would like to go now. And he said, you shouldn't want to go because you're not ready. Anyway, I left and I went and I bought a bottle. And in those days, nothing was tasting at all good. So I was on Metaxa brandy, gallons of it. And I went away, but I had to go back to Dr. Gayford a few weeks later because again I was in problem drinking. And he admitted me again, and he emphasized again that I should become a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. He was not an alcoholic in the sense that he was not a member of AA. He was just a doctor, Dr. Gayford. He is very well, he died about a month ago, I think. He was very well known in South London. He helped so many people. And many of his former patients are around, and I know some of them. And he really was a very good man. But anyway, the second I went to him 3 times in total, and the third time I said to him, "I'm going. I'm all right." He said, "Pravin, you go. You're going to die a horrible death." His words were, "You are going to die a horrible death. You go. I don't want you. I will not admit you again. I don't want you here. I don't want to know you." So I left. I thought I would be all right. I didn't drink. And and I expected, because of that psychologist who had told me that give the bottle away, throw the bottle away, and everything will be all right. I thought everything will be all right, and I didn't drink, so that was all right. But I began going into a depression, and that depression became a quicksand, and I began to lose much. And by the time 2.5 years finished, by the time I came to AA, I had lost more than I had ever lost and I just walked into a meeting. During those 2.5 years, I was in the hands of the School for Psychological Medicine at the University College Hospital in Grafton Street in London, and the Institute of Psychiatry, and I went to religion, and I went to all sorts of people for help. And at the Institute of Psychiatry in London, there were some very eminent people there, and they were the best in their field, and they wanted to help me. They wanted me to get better. They wanted me to be free of my depression, and they wanted to do the best for me. But somehow that 2.5 years experience, including religion, didn't really help me somehow. And the word alcoholism was not mentioned to me, to my best of my knowledge. Nobody said you are an alcoholic or alcoholism. They were all talking about reframing my thinking system, or whatever they were trying to, what psychologists do, what religious people do, what School for Psychological Medicine does. But somehow they could not, or they did not touch my alcoholic condition. So I had a GP in those days, a very tall, broad-shouldered gentleman from County Mayo, Dr. Henry, and he has died now, and so I can mention his name. And he said, Pravin, he sat me down. He was a good, he had become a good friend, and he was trying to help me as well. And he was giving me some Heminevrin as well during those days of not drinking, but not being in Alcoholics Anonymous. And he was giving me things like Ativan and Valium and Triazolam and Mogadon. And by the time I came to AA, I was fairly rattling inside, full of pills and potions. And I used to say in my early, when I first came in, I used to say, I'm a fraud. I don't drink. And I was, if you like, all I can say is that I felt embraced by the people who were there in my first early meetings in Alcoholics Anonymous. And there are some of the people who were there at my first meeting. Some of them are still there, and I still see them once a year around the date of Bill W.'s birthday, June the 10th. I still see them because we have a get-together in the Chelsea town hall once a year, and it's a fairly major event for the day, and we enjoy it. And I still meet them, and it's always a joy. One or two, three of them have passed now because of age, but they died sober, to the best of my knowledge. And I fell in with a group of people in Alcoholics Anonymous who were constantly talking about home group, sponsor, doing some service, sharing, but they were also saying things like, and they made me hear it. They were saying things like, don't just go to a meeting, join in. The message that Dr. Gifford tried to give me 2.5 years previously, the message was, I heard that message again in Alcoholics during my first days in AA. Join in. Drop your anchor in Alcoholics Anonymous. Become a member. Don't just keep coming back. Stay. Just stay here. And don't only ask what Alcoholics Anonymous can do for you. Ask also what you can bring to AA, what you can give to AA, what you can do for AA. Become a member. And that was a message which I am so grateful I heard. And I sort of, in a sense, it became an internalized thing. I began to ask the question, what does becoming a member of AA mean? And because I was in the state I was in, I couldn't really speak very much. I was in very bad depression. Nothing before had been able to relieve me of my depression. I began to feel a bit better in the company of those people I fell in with to begin with. And we would go out to the local transport cafe for tea before the meeting, and also after the meeting. And people were very kind to me. Some of the people I think you might know, people like Archie C. And Robert N. Liverpool Jimmy, Benny from Bromley, or people who were so very kind, and they sort of, in a sense, embraced me and tried. They did their best to make me feel comfortable, and that touched my that was touching of the soul, really, because I began to feel less solid, less mixed up inside, less depressed. I began to feel comfortable with myself, and I thought, well, if I feel uncomfortable, let me keep doing what I'm doing, stay in the company of people who are making me feel that way. And I continued, and then I used to spend a lot of time with that bunch of people. I know Archie and Robert, people have passed on, but there are still some friends who I'm still in touch with. I'm in close touch with, and it's a joy. It's a way of life I'm enjoying, and I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous that my problem is not that I used to drink too much, or even that my problem is alcohol. I heard one tall, broad-shouldered American member share that this is not about alcohol and drinking. This is about alcoholism and recovering from a deadly disease. And I heard that, and I began to ask the question, what does that mean? What does that involve? And very early on, I bumped into a guy who was speaking nicely with people. He spoke nicely with me. And I said to him, would you help me? And in those days, I had very deep inferiority complex. I know the word no self-worth now, having been in AA for some little while. But in those days, it was me. I was inferior. I had this inferiority complex. I did not expect this man to say yes. I did not expect anything good to happen to me. I did not expect me to do anything good. But this man, he said, yes, he will help me. And he became my first sponsor. I suppose what I call it is the gift of desperation. I wanted to be rid of this depression, and this man, and he remained with me. He remained my first sponsor for several years, and he died a few years ago. He died of cancer. He died in sobriety, and I have now got an equally good sponsor. I know that I will not be able to do AA without a sponsor and without a home group, and about a service commitment, and without doing what the AA program and AA fellowship wants me to do. I've got this faith now, which I did not have, that Alcoholics Anonymous works, that it will continue to work for me and continue to benefit me, provided I remember that it's only a daily reprieve, provided that I do what is suggested, provided I remain a member of my home group, and especially do service. We had a workshop at a convention last weekend in Bournemouth. We had a workshop on service commitment, or on service. And Bill Pete, my friend in Bournemouth, asked me to take part in that workshop, and I was privileged to say yes. I shared there, and I found myself saying that Dr. Bob always said, love and service makes Alcoholics Anonymous tick, and love and service relieves us of alcoholism. And he implied, Dr. Bob implied, and so did so did Bill W. and Dr. Schumacher, Reverend Dowling, all those people who were early part of early AA, who were helping each other and helping Alcoholics Anonymous become a fellowship. They were all saying that it's love and service, and which is at the basis, the core principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. And the implication was that service without love is not authentic, and love without service is not authentic. And that is why when I do the 11th step as part of my recovery, part of my program, I know I have to pray, I know I have to meditate, and I'm not very good at praying or meditating. I try to do it. But most important part of that step for me is to do service. And I have not been without a service commitment in Alcoholics Anonymous since I came in. I've always done some kind of service. And by service, I mean not only doing service in AA meetings or AA groups, not only sharing with newcomers, not only sponsoring, but giving service to Alcoholics Anonymous at various levels in the structure, at intergroup, at region. I was privileged enough to go to the conference, General Service Conference in York, and then I was privileged to be to be recommended, if you like, by members of my region to be a trustee in New York. And so I did that service. And the point about service for me, is that service and recovery go hand in hand. I do a bit of service and I do a bit of recovery, if you like. I recover a bit, and I recover a bit and I do a bit of service. And that's a sort of ongoing process for me. And that's what I do now. And I do thank divinity for leading me to Alcoholics Anonymous in January 1988, and helping me stay a member of AA, become a member of AA, and stay a member, remain a member, and do the best I can. One of the things I try to do, don't always succeed, is I ask me what needs to be done in Alcoholics Anonymous, and then seeing if I can do it. Or in one of the things I try to do also is, because for me, service includes helping other members do service, because service is in my way of thinking, based on my experience. It's the most important part of giving back. I want to do service because of what I'm receiving from AA, from all of you. And I received the program, the Alcoholics Anonymous promises me a new freedom and a new happiness. And it promises me that I'm guaranteed that I will know serenity and I will know peace. I will understand. I will have peace and I will understand serenity. And I've come to see that Alcoholics Anonymous delivers on its promises. If it promises something, it delivers it. In the outside world, where I have to live, as the book says, I have to live in the outside world, but not become part of it. But in the outside world, when somebody says something to me which sounds like a promise, I have to ask the question, what is the catch? What is the angle? What is it that the person is trying to sell to me? And I have become a bit skeptical, if you like, because I know that in Alcoholics Anonymous, the promises are there and they will be delivered. I will know a new freedom and a new happiness. And it will not be the kind of freedom, the kind of happiness that I thought I should enjoy. It is something I can enjoy. I do enjoy. And provided I keep doing what is suggested, provided I keep remaining a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, provided I keep doing the suggestions, then I know that I will be all right. And that is my experience since 1988. So I've got every reason to do what I'm doing, every reason to be confident that Alcoholics Anonymous will not let me down. None of you and all of you have never let me down. I've never been let down in AA, except without knowing somebody may have done something, or inadvertently, without wanting to do it. They may not have done what they said they would, but I've not been let down by AA. And one of the most important gifts, and I've come to believe that AA doesn't want me to suffer. It doesn't want me to commit suicide. It doesn't want me to be unwell. AA wants me to be well. All of you will help me on my path. All of you will, if I ask for help, will say yes. And Alcoholics Anonymous will fulfill its promises. And one of the things which I cherish is we have my wife and I, we live in Croydon, and we have a boy and a girl. Both of them are adults now, but as they were growing up in the house I am speaking from, this has been the first house we bought and the only house we bought. And the kids as they were growing up, this house was not a home for them. It was a structure, a room, a few rooms, but never a home because of this. Because I was in my cups, and the black cloud of alcoholism was always hovering over them, and they didn't want to know me as their father. They had disowned me. They would tell you, we haven't a father. And if they saw me coming down the street, they would cross the street. They would, we would not have any celebrations of birthdays or festivities in this house. The house remained a structure, it never became a home for them. But because of the power that is in steps 8 and 9, and because of the power that is in Alcoholics Anonymous, because the power that is in us as a fellowship, because of that power, my son and my daughter have become friends of mine today. And I have become a friend of theirs. And they want me to be part of their life. And I want them to be part of my life. My son left for Bangkok yesterday for a short holiday. And we were in touch with him up until he got to Gatwick. And this morning when we got up, there was a message saying, I've landed in Bangkok. And we were together 2 nights ago and with some of his friends. And it was lovely. And our daughter was there as well. And she came visiting us today. So the structure, the building, which used to be a structure to them as they were growing up, has become a home for them. We routinely celebrate birthdays and festivities, and Diwali was not too long ago, a week or so ago, and we celebrated it. And it. So what am I saying? I'm sharing that AA works. It works in ways which sometimes I don't understand, but sometimes I know that I am a member. I am doing what I can to the best of my ability, and nobody in AA has ever asked me to do more than the best I can do. But I must have a home group. I must have a sponsor, and I'm sharing purely for myself. This is what I've done. This is what I will continue to do, I hope, and I hope divinity will keep walking beside me, because it is divinity which is keeping me going. It's divinity which brought me here, and I'm grateful for leading me to Alcoholics Anonymous and leading me to the 2 people. The first one, my sponsor, and the second sponsor as well. And I hope I will never shortchange myself by thinking, oh, I will take a little bit of a break from AA now. We travel, my wife and I used to travel quite a lot, and we've got many friends in various parts of Europe. But I never went to any place without checking whether there is an AA meeting there or not. And I hope I will have that same feeling for Alcoholics Anonymous, the same gratitude for it, that I never do anything to harm AA or to hurt or to harm this beautiful flame, this charismatic flame that all of you have given me. And I'm grateful to be here. And thank you, Mosey, for asking me to come and share with you. And thank you, Mick, for taking the meeting. And thank you all for being there so I can join you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Pravin, my friend. An absolute pleasure to have you here. You're one of these guys that we met a long time ago, but we had that connection from the minute we met. I think there was just something about you that I was attracted to. I love the way you told your story. And love and service. I'm blessed that I still do a lot of traveling, and no matter where I go, I'm surrounded by love because of this fellowship. I met you in Bournemouth over the weekend, and I was at home in Lanzarote when I got the call, and Teresa said to me, "Would you come over and speak?" And like a shot, I just booked the flight and away. Now, there was a time when I couldn't get £3 together to get into the pub. And now with a minute's notice, I'll travel, and what made me feel a part of was doing service from the very beginning. And to this day, I'm in service every single day, no matter what. There's always something to be done. and it makes me feel a part of. And the way you brought about the program, I didn't realize how much of a carbon copy I am of you. Because it's I was taught by the people ahead of me exactly what to do and how to do it, and I do it this day. Anyway, that's enough about me. Mick, take it away there, my friend. Here you go.
Oh, you've unmuted me. Thank you, Mossy. Thank you, Pravin. My name's Mick, and I am an alcoholic, and by the grace of God in this fellowship, I don't need to take a drink today on a daily basis. Pravin, I think we have had a co-friend, Robert N. He used to come to our group back at Beaconsfield, and he's a very good friend. He was. I identify with lots of what you said. I came to Alcoholics Anonymous in '75, and I stayed, but I didn't stop drinking. It was quite a while, and then I was put away, and then and then I went into a drying out clinic, not a unit. It wasn't. It was, and for 2 months you shared about being a dry drunk with all the horrors and the shake and that, and I was the same. 2 months, and I planned to drink, and my planning went wrong, and I came back to Alcoholics Anonymous, and and I kind of got into AA. I became part of, because before I was going to meetings, but I'd be late to the meeting and leave early, because I don't believe in being late twice a day, and I'd leave early, so I was getting nothing from it. And the second time, then when I'd stopped drinking and that, my sponsor who I had, I'm on my 5th sponsor. 4 of them have died sober, and he used to say to me, Mick, get to the meeting half an hour before the meeting and be one of the last to leave. And I said, why? And he said, because there'd be things needing doing. And that's how I got into service. My first chair, I was in the meeting, and the bloke said, I said to this guy, who's in the chair tonight? And he said, you are. If he told me a week before, I wouldn't have turned up. I wouldn't have turned up, because I would have been too scared to tell you who I am, what I am, and where I came from. But you people, Alcoholics Anonymous has given me everything I need in life today. And it was a pleasure meeting you at Bournemouth. It really was. And, how my life is today, it is absolutely wonderful. My wife was 40 years in Al-Anon, and then she died, and we were soulmates at the end. Before she died, we were soulmates. And I thought of how I was, how to mourn her and that. And I remembered listening to Jack Brennan's tape, and he had a tape out that said, he said to God, why did you take her away from me after 28 years? And God said, I didn't take her, I gave her to you. And that's what she's became in my life, is a gift in my life. She was a gift. And anyone in fellowship that I know dies and that, they've all been gifts. And I treasure my gifts. We've come to the end of the meeting, and Michael is going to read the promises.
If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we're halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we can see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
All right. Thank you to the speakers, co-hosts, timekeepers, and the people that have done the reading on the share. Reminder that we have a meeting on 7 days a week at 8:30 UK time. We also have a lunchtime meeting on every Sunday at 1 p.m. UK time. This is a meditation meeting.
And Saturdays at 6 o'clock, we have UK time, we have our old timers meeting, an extended share recorder for the archives. And Thursday evening, we have a meeting at 7:30 UK time. We use the same code for all our meetings.
Stick around for a fellowship after the meeting. If you want a breakout room after this meeting, please let the host know.
And the yellow card, who you see here,
What you hear here,
when you leave here.
let it stay here.
Thanks, Mick, and thanks everyone here this evening. Pravin, thanks a million for joining us. An amazing share. I got so much from it anyway. And will you lead us out with the serenity prayer, Pravin, please?
Yeah, Mosey, thank you. Pravin, I'm alcoholic. Shall we close this meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous with our serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity.
Accept the things that cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. Sure.
Thy will be done. Amen. Thank you.
Keep coming back. Yeah, thank you all.
Bye.
Oh, John, everyone.